Hi Reddit, I'm dealing with a difficult situation in my marriage and need some advice. A year ago, I, 38M, discovered that my wife, 35F, whom we'll call Nadine, had been having an affair with another man via Snapchat for the majority of our relationship. We've been together for 6 years and married for 2 years now. To make things worse, the man in question was someone who abused her as a teenager. I discovered the cheating one evening when Nadine jumped across the sofa as she saw I could see her phone screen. She was typing a message to a guy on Snapchat. Nadine initially denied any wrongdoing, but I asked to see the phone. I didn't expect to find anything as it was Snapchat, but to my surprise, snippets of the conversation had been saved inadvertently. It was clear that there had been a sexual and emotional affair via Snapchat throughout our relationship. He lives abroad, and I am satisfied they did not meet in person during our relationship. My discovery was made when our baby daughter was only weeks old. Had it not been for our daughter, I would have left immediately and ended things. However, as we had a newborn, I gave things a chance. Nadine admitted to the affair but slowly drip-fed information for weeks. It was only after several weeks that she admitted she'd been in contact with him intermittently throughout our entire relationship. To Nadine's credit, she has done everything possible to make things work. She immediately cut contact, gave me full access to her phone, and deleted social media. She has fully committed and is devastated that she came so close to ruining the family she always wanted. I made it a condition of us staying together that she report this guy for the abuse while she was a minor. She reported it to the police, and that is in the process of being dealt with, but it has made things even more complicated and difficult. Over the last year, we have rebuilt things with the help of counseling and tried to build the family we wanted for our daughter. Things have been difficult, but are going in the right direction. I'm still having a hard time moving forward, though. I will never trust Nadine implicitly like I did before, and there will always be the nagging doubt in the back of my head. Every few months, I'm reminded of what happened and go into a dark place thinking about what she did and how she could do that to me. While we have had good times, this will always be hanging over us. Has anyone else come out of the other side of this situation and been happy after staying together? It was a typical Friday evening. I had just finished putting our newborn daughter to sleep and was looking forward to a quiet night. Nadine was sitting on the sofa, her phone in hand, as she often was these days. I didn't think much of it until I saw her jump, nearly dropping her phone when she realized I could see her screen. Instinctively, I felt something was wrong. "Who are you texting?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "No one, just a friend," she replied too quickly, her eyes wide with guilt. "Let me see your phone." She hesitated, but after a moment she handed it over. I didn't expect to find anything since Snapchat messages disappear after they are read. But to my surprise, some snippets of conversations had been saved inadvertently. What I read shattered my world. There were messages from a man, intimate and emotional, revealing an affair that had been ongoing for a long time. "What is this, Nadine?" I asked, my voice trembling with a mix of anger and disbelief. She started to cry. "It's not what you think. It's just, he's someone I used to know." "Used to know? You've been talking to him for years, and you've been hiding it from me all this time." She broke down and admitted to the affair, but only after days of intense questioning did she reveal the full extent of their relationship. They had never met in person since we started dating, as he lived abroad, but their emotional and sexual conversations on Snapchat had continued throughout our entire relationship. I felt sick to my stomach. The man she was cheating with was someone who had abused her as a teenager. The thought of her turning to him for comfort and validation while betraying me was almost too much to bear. I wanted to leave immediately, but our daughter was just a few weeks old. I couldn't abandon her, so I decided to stay and give our marriage a chance for her sake. Nadine was remorseful and did everything possible to prove she was committed to making things right. She cut off all contact with him, gave me full access to her phone, and deleted her social media accounts. She even reported him to the police for the abuse he had inflicted on her as a minor. This added another layer of complexity to our situation, but it was a necessary step for her healing and our trust rebuilding process. We started seeing a counselor, and slowly, painfully, we began to rebuild our relationship. There were good days when it felt like we could move past this, and there were bad days when the weight of her betrayal was almost unbearable. Every few months, something would trigger a memory, and I'd find myself spiraling into a dark place, questioning everything. One evening, as we were putting our daughter to bed, Nadine turned to me with tears in her eyes. "I know I've hurt you deeply, and I will never be able to take that back. But I love you and our daughter more than anything. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make this work." I looked at her, seeing the pain and regret in her eyes. She had been putting in the effort, and I had seen genuine change in her. But the trust we once had was shattered, and I wasn't sure if it could ever be fully restored. Over time, our sessions with the counselor began to help. We learned to communicate better and address the root issues in our relationship. Nadine worked on her own traumas and how they influence her actions. She became more present as a mother and a partner. Slowly, I started to see glimpses of the woman I fell in love with. However, the nagging doubt never fully disappeared. There were moments when I would see her on her phone and my heart would race, wondering if she was talking to someone else. I knew it wasn't fair to her, but the fear was there, lurking in the background. One night, as we were lying in bed, I voiced my concerns. "Nadine, I'm trying so hard to move past this, but there's always going to be that part of me that wonders if you'll do it again." She reached out and took my hand. "I understand, and I don't expect you to forget what happened. All I can do is show you every day that I'm committed to us and our family." Her words were sincere, and I wanted to believe her. But trust is a fragile thing. Once broken, it's incredibly hard to mend. As the months went by, we had more good days than bad. We celebrated our daughter's first birthday together, surrounded by family and friends. Nadine and I shared a moment, watching our little girl take her first steps, and I felt a glimmer of hope for our future. But the shadow of her affair loomed over us. Every few months, I would be reminded of what happened, and the dark thoughts would return. It was a cycle that I couldn't seem to break. I wondered if we would ever truly be free from the past. Despite the challenges, we continued to work on our marriage. We attended counseling sessions regularly and tried to keep the lines of communication open. Nadine showed me in countless ways that she was committed to making our relationship work. She was more attentive, more loving, and more present than she had ever been. I started to see that while the past would always be a part of our story, it didn't have to define our future. We could learn from it, grow from it, and build something stronger together. It wouldn't be easy, but nothing worth having ever is. I often wondered if other couples had gone through similar situations and come out stronger on the other side. Was it possible to rebuild trust and find happiness again after such a betrayal? I searched for stories of hope, of resilience, and found that while every situation is unique, many couples had faced infidelity and come through it with a deeper understanding of each other and a stronger bond. This gave me hope. I realized that while the pain of Nadine's betrayal would never fully disappear, it didn't have to control our lives. We could choose to move forward, to focus on the love and family we had built, and to work every day to make our marriage stronger. It's been a year since I discovered Nadine's affair, and while the journey has been incredibly difficult, we've made progress. We're not the same couple we were before, and maybe that's a good thing. We've learned to be more honest with each other, to communicate better, and to appreciate the love we have. Trust may take time to rebuild, but with commitment and effort, it's possible. I still have moments of doubt, but they're becoming less frequent. I'm learning to let go of the past and focus on the present, on the life we're creating for our daughter. I'm sharing my story here not just to seek advice, but to offer a glimmer of hope to others going through similar situations. Infidelity can feel like the end, but it doesn't have to be. With effort, commitment, and love, it's possible to rebuild and come out stronger on the other side. One day, in the early morning light, I sat with a cup of coffee, reflecting on the past year. It had been a roller coaster of emotions, but as I looked out the window at the rising sun, I felt a sense of peace. Nadine joined me, and we sat in comfortable silence, enjoying the moment. "We've come a long way," she said softly, breaking the silence. "Yes, we have," I replied, reaching out to take her hand, "and we still have a long way to go." "But we're doing it together," she said, squeezing my hand. And that's what matters. As we sat there watching the sunrise together, I realized that while our journey was far from over, we were on the right path. The road ahead would have its challenges, but with love, commitment, and a willingness to work through the tough times, I believe we could make it. For anyone reading this, facing their own battles in their relationships, know that you're not alone. Healing takes time, and it's okay to have doubts and fears. But with patience, effort, and a lot of love, it's possible to find a way forward even after the darkest of times.